Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today is my little tribute to the quiet Beatle, Mr. George Harrison, who today, February 25th, 2023, would have turned 80 years old. He would have been the last Beatle to hit that decade, as Paul and Ringo have already turned that mark and then some. And John, of course, would have turned 80 back in 2020 as well, like Ringo did. So I was trying to figure out what I was going to do for George because I don't have a lot of his solo material on, on physical format. I've got all the Beatles records, and I've got a few George things. Like I've got Brainwashed, I've got Let It Roll, the compilation. I've got All Things Must Pass. I've got a couple of his records on vinyl, but not an extensive collection. So I thought, especially given the fact that my recent Beatles video has done fairly well in terms of becoming a thread, I thought I would rank my top 10 favorite George Harrison Beatles tracks. And I'm going to include cover songs that he sang as well. So I'm not just solely doing his originals, because some of his solo stuff I like a lot. I mean, some of his covers I like a lot more than his originals. I was going to do all the George songs. I believe he had 28 songs that he sang at some point or another. But I thought that's going to be a long video. Let me just go ahead and do my top 10. So, all that being said, here's number 10. From this album, Let It Be, I'm going to go with I Me Mine. I believe that's the last Beatles song that was worked on while the Beatles were still technically a band. I know some overdubs were done in 1970, albeit I believe John Lennon was absent from those sessions. So it's just a great song, kind of a bluesy song with that great organ by Billy Preston, kind of some acid kind of guitar licks thrown in there. Really a cool song. I first learned it on Beatles Rock Band. I love the chorus where they come in with, me, mine, it's a rocking song, and it's number 10. Number 9 for me, it's the last song from Beatles for Sale. It's the cover of Carl Perkins' song, Everybody's Trying to Be My Baby. I love the Liverpudlian accent that comes out of George during the song. That's probably part of the charm that puts it up into my top 10 for me. I just love how he says, from a tree. Like he kind of goes, tree, like that. Doesn't quite fully say it, so I apologize to my English fans of me trying to do a Liverpudlian accent. But Everybody's Trying to Be My Baby. I love how it, comes in on the kind of acapella, where they took some money, boom, boom, from a tree, boom, boom. It's so good. I love it. George has a lot of youth in his voice on this song, and it shows. So Everybody's Trying to Be My Baby is number 9. Number 8, it's probably for many people their favorite, but for me, I think part of the reason is just due to oversaturation, but it's still a great song. Here Comes the Sun, from my favorite Beatles record, Abbey Road. What a way to open up side 2 after the very heavy I Want You, She's So Heavy. Because you have I Want You, She's So Heavy. It just kind of ends really sharp, and then you flip the record over, and then you hear that tinkling kind of light acoustic guitar that George is playing just beautifully. It's every acoustic guitar player's dream to play that song just like George. It's not too hard, but it's not very easy either. It's not one that I've perfected by any means, but Here Comes the Sun, just, I believe the most streamed Beatles song as well. So that is number 8 for me. Number 7 from the debut, Do You Want to Know a Secret, which is an original Beatles song, but it's not a Harrison song. It is a Lennon McCartney track. Again, kind of like Everybody's Trying to Be My Baby. Just that slow intro I love, with that minor chord, that you'll never know how much I really love you, and then and then it like the major, you'll never know how much I really care, and then it stops. Listen, boom, boom, bop, bop. I love how it goes down the neck of the guitar. Love that song. I love playing it on Beatles Rock Band as a kid, and it's always been one that stuck with me. I just love the sound of it. Love George's voice again, very young, as you can see on the picture there, anybody that knows from the debut. So that is number 7. Number 6, the first George Harrison song, and the only George Harrison song that opens a Beatles record, Taxman, off of Revolver. And what's cool about this album is this is a very George-heavy album. I mean, you figure there's 14 tracks, 3 of them are George songs, which normally, before this, we were only getting 1 or 2 George tracks per record. This one, not only do we get 3, but we open the album with George and the very psychedelic, very cool Taxman with that count in 1, 2, 3, and then boom, bam, boom, bam, 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 with Paul playing that killer um, acid rock soaked guitar solo. Love it. So Taxman is number 6. Number 5, we're going to jump back to Let It Be with the song For You Blue, a very acoustic 12-bar blues song with the slide guitar, which is played by John, I believe, trying to play a little slide guitar. Just a really, really cool song. There's actually a really good version online that you can find, an abridged version that George's son Danny sings. It sounds just like his dad. It's insane. But I love it, because you're a sweet and lovely girl, it's true. I just love it. I love the acoustic nature. When I first heard this album, that song was not a favorite at all for me. But over the years, as I've grown to listen to the Beatles and listen to their albums dozens and dozens and dozens of times each, that song has really grown on me. And it just goes to show that even if you don't like it the first 10 times, something can still grow on you and then end up being in your top 5 favorite George songs. So For You Blue. Let's see. Number 4. Yep. 4, 3. Is that right? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Oops, I think I might have messed up something here. Okay, let's go. Yeah, number 4. I'm good. From Yellow Submarine, the song "It's All Too Much." Underrated song in George's catalog. Underrated song in the Beatles catalog. And for me, that song sounds brand new. It does not sound like the '60s to me. It sounds like it could have been done yesterday. I love the organ played on it. The dun dun boom 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 boom. I love the song takes its time. I love the outro with the too much. Paul's harmony on it is spectacular. The gritty guitar, bam 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 bam. I love that song so much, and it was one of the main reasons that I finally bit the bullet and bought this Yellow Submarine. I didn't want to buy this album for years and years, just because obviously the second side is all it's all soundtrack music that George Martin produced. And then on side A, the songs Yellow Submarine and All You Need Is Love I already had on Revolver and Magical Mystery Tour. So, I was debating, like, do I want to spend, $12, whatever it was, to get 4 songs really that I wanted to listen to? And in the end I said, yeah, I do, because I love that song. I love the other songs, the other originals to this record. And It's All Too Much is just a killer George track. One of the longer Beatles songs. And yeah. All Too Much is number 4. Number 3 is going to be, let me go back, Something. Frank Sinatra's favorite Beatles song. He said it was his favorite Lennon McCartney song. Of course, it's a Harrison song. Yeah, just one of the classic George songs. Whenever you see, video montages of George, you have that guitar intro, that bow, bow, now, bow, bow. Just, killer stuff. And it's a beautiful love song. It's one I'm glad that Paul McCartney still sings, even though we might be tired of him doing it live. I'm happy that he still keeps that George song in the mix. It's just a killer song. It was a number 1 hit for George. Again, the 2 songs that George did on Abbey Road are both number 1 hits, so that goes to show you where he was heading. And obviously, you would get All Things Must Pass. Which just showed the strength of George's songs in the late 60s, early 70s. It was just unbelievable what he was cranking out at that point in his life. So Something is going to be number 3. Number 2, one of my all-time favorite songs of all time from anybody, from Help, I Need You. Just a killer song, that great jangle guitar sound with kind of the tremolo and the echo on the guitar, that bum 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 bum, very Birdsy. I love the clip in Help when they're up by Stonehenge wearing the army fatigues. It's obviously freezing cold. Their hair is blowing everywhere, and they've got the tanks around them at Stonehenge. The color is beautiful in that scene, so it always takes me back to that scene in that movie. I love, love, love this song. I love how Tom Petty did it at the concert for George, and it's just one that I never get tired of. I love the sadness in the lyrics. It's just my kind of song. So I Need You is number 2, which leaves number 1 from this album right here. It is the song Savoy. No, it's While My Guitar Gently Weeps. It's George's greatest song. In my opinion, it's better than anything he wrote before or after. It is just a brilliant song. I love every version that George did of it. I love the more acoustic bass version off of the Love soundtrack with the George Martin orchestration. I love when he covered it in 1991 with Eric Clapton in the concert for Japan. I just love it. I love Eric Clapton's solo on it. As I'm sitting here doing nothing but aging, one of my favorite lines of all time. With every mistake, we must surely be learning. It's so spiritual to George. It's everything that he was reading at this time in his spiritual journey. And he mixes it with his love of music. It's just wonderful. It's a perfect song. It's a killer song with the solo, the mournful kind of, O's kind of, that George kind of moans off at the end. It's just perfect. It's a perfect song. And that's why it's number 1. It's my favorite George Harrison Beatles song. It's my favorite George Harrison song. So all that being said, thank y'all for watching. Happy birthday, George Harrison. 80 years old. I would love to have known what you would have done, in these last 22 years since you've left this earth. You're dearly missed. I know, your buddies Bob Dylan, Jeff Lynne, your son Donnie, your wife Olivia, Eric Clapton. I know they all miss you to death. So many other people miss you. The fans miss you. And it's just a shame that nasty disease had to take you out as early as it did. But we love you, George. Everybody, please comment. Let me know your favorite George Harrison Beatles songs, covers, and originals that he did for the Beatles. I'll look forward to responding to y'all in the comments. In the meantime, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Everybody be good, stay safe this weekend, and we will talk to you next time. Bye now.